Hey Hofstra fans, it's time once again for the WBB Masons Coaches Report. I'm Rob Joyce, joined as always by the head coach of Hofstra women's basketball, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well, Rob.
Now, last week your team lost to Drexel, and then on Sunday won against Old Dominion here at home. We'll start with Drexel, up by 15 at the half. You end up losing the game. What did Drexel do in that second half?
They do what they do well. They make you play at their tempo. It became a possession game, and the momentum shift. They held that momentum shift the second half, and I thought we learned a lot from that loss. But we had every opportunity even down the stretch. But it was a lot. What Drexel did, a lot of us of missing shots. I'm first to give everyone a lot of credit for what they do, and we weren't knocking down as well as we were in the first half. So it's a combination, not just one thing, but it was a very disappointing loss at their place. It was one that we were commanding, and it's always disappointing when you have the lead and don't finish it out.
And Shante Evans had just 6 field goal attempts all game. What were the Dragons able to do to make her a non-factor?
You can go back 12 years of how Drexel plays their offense. Even back when I was at JMU, and they had 5'9" post players, and they do a great job of the matchup of closing gaps and. Really over, they know if one's coming out of an area and they beat on penetration, someone's sliding over and everyone's rotating, and, it's what they do. They do it well. And, they commanded the rebounding edge. For us, and it kind of hurt that woes until our last game, and then so they stopped us from running. And then, we quit attacking. So, as much as, again, giving Drexel a ton of credit, which they deserve, but we also kind of quit playing our game.
Then on Sunday you come out, you punch ODU in the mouth, you're up by as many as 20 numerous times in the second half and win. Was that the response that you were looking for?
Yeah. I mean, you have a team that's comprised of, again, 2 core seniors that are playing a lot of minutes. We have 3 seniors total, and then a lot of young kids. You can't help it as a coach to be hoping that they realize that a loss only affects your mentality if you let it, not your ability. And I think that's what we spent a lot of time, just discussing. Pretty much how you are handling this. It didn't change your physical skills. You're not worse because you had a loss. And if you let it control your mind, then that's where we're going to fall short. So I certainly was very proud of how they responded and positively how they didn't let it get to them.
And then you had fast break points, you had threes, you had Shante dominating down low. What did you see in the ODU defense that worked?
Well, like I said, everybody has their different style, what kind of team they're becoming, and I do feel deep in my heart that we are a both style team. We can run when we can run, and then we can play possessions when we can play possessions. We certainly would like to have a good mix in a game. That's why I feel like this team is different than last year's team. So ODU is trying to command their style. They want to be up tempo, they want to press full game, and they have a lot of players that they can shuffle in and out. A lot of talent. They're more talented than they were last year. And, it's almost like too much talent, too, because not a lot of folks are getting enough rhythm when they get in. So, it just allowed us to kind of do the things. Nobody wants to have to go against the press the whole game. That is just like painstakingly, brutal at times. But I thought Adriana and crew handled it very well. We attacked it. We didn't stay on the back of our heels. And it allowed us to do what we need to do. And obviously, for Shante to have a breakout game, I can't be any more happy, or on the day where she was being honored, and it was just a long time coming.
Defensively, yes, you gave up 72 points, but a lot of that was just garbage time. 3 balls from ODU. You had Jackie Cook, 1 of 6 shooting. Their point guard Ashley Betts-White gave her fits all day. Talk about the defense's play.
Yeah, I've been happy every game with how we have matched up, how we're playing personnel. Jackie Cook, who is a stellar player, who had a game-winning shot last year here, who just really causes problems because she can shoot the 3, she can post up, and so I was very pleased. We had a combination. Anma Nyuku did a great defensive job on her, which allowed Candace Bond to play Shea number 1. So I was very proud of that, and then everybody in between. We didn't let any surprises pop us out. Younger number 24 came in, hit 3s against the zone, which that's what she did. It's what she does. We had to tighten that up, and they scored 9 points real quick in about a minute toward the end, so the score was a little bit, different than, but we've got to play. Whoever we put in's got to, really do well and not let have any game slippage. So, but defensively, I thought as a whole we did very good, as a team.
And now a rare week off in the middle of conference play, your team going off the court to a little community service yesterday. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, it's always, well, even at ODU we did the Special Olympics clinic, which is very, near and dear, to all of our hearts here at Hofstra. We've done that clinic pretty often every year, and so to see those faces, some of the same faces. And then we presented a check at that game for the Mary Brennan Inn to Jean Kelly, who's the executive director of the inn. And then, so with that check, was $77 that the players gave out of their own money, per player, so it was $1,001. It's the third time in 5 years that we have actually sponsored a meal, and we've been working there for 7 years. So yesterday we went over, had to be up here pretty early, 8 a.m., and spent a good 6 hours. First thing you do, you cut up. The kids are working in the kitchen, preparing the meal, getting it ready. Some people were working in the clothing area. Some of the kids were working in the candy area. I had to go back and monitor that. But and then the guests come in and they get to pick out clothes. So we were monitoring that, and then we serve a meal. So it's special. It is. It touches people differently. It's a very emotional. Even when the guests are in there early, every person responds to things differently, but it certainly makes us all appreciate what we have. And I spoke to the group a little bit too, just about how much we were appreciated to have the time to be able to come and serve the guests that have a hot meal and might be the first meal of the day.
How important do you think it is that the team goes out in the community and serves others?
I think it is as important as the academic aspect that you're getting here. So it should be your academics, your servitude, how you're serving people, and then obviously everybody cares what we're here to win, but all of that should be hand in hand. I feel like if you were winning at all cost and you're not giving back to anything, then I would be pretty empty. My program would be pretty empty. So it's a combination of all three of those things. So giving service, you'll never forget. And playing for Coach Al, we spent a lot of time at different centers in Raleigh, Dorothea Dix, and different things. So at my age now, you don't forget that. I know this will have a lasting impression on our players here, and it will affect them at a certain point in their life. It'll hit them, and it's doing it now, but then when they're older. So I can't talk enough about how important this is for me as leading this program, and what I would like to leave these players with, along with taking care of business on the court.
Now, from a basketball standpoint, classes haven't started yet. You have a week off. Is it nice to be able to have that extra few days to prepare for JMU?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I gave them a couple days. You never get the timing exactly the way you want it. We start school as we return back from the JMU game, and then we have that week that's going to be pretty crazy. That I probably won't be seeing you because we play 4 games or 5 games in 4 days. Is that mathematically possible? But we do like a Delaware swing and Wilmington swing, Northeastern, and then at Georgia State. So, if you could flip it, you're like, wow, So, but it is what it is. Everybody's had that type of a week, and now this was our week. So it certainly gives our legs underneath us, gets a good mental break. This providing happiness by giving to others. You could see that on the players' faces yesterday. So you're hoping all of this will continue to shape us getting better on the floor. So it all ties together.
No worries about not seeing me. I'll be on Delaware and Wilmington.
Oh, good.
So there's a nice little surprise, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you. That's
in terms
great.
of JMU on Sunday,
big game.
Tariq Hislop,
Yeah.
one of the better point guards from the CAA. How do you slow her down?
It's going to take a village. It's going to be all of us here working. It can't just be put on one player's shoulders. So take a village to guard her, and along with, they have the Burkholder shooter who's really good, Kirby, and some freshmen that are playing really good minutes for Kenny right now. So it's always a battle playing down in Harrisonburg. So I expect nothing less. They do a great job with the scout. They do a great job with personnel scout. So it's going to be our job to go in there and play the way we want to play.
And no Nikki Newman, last year's Defensive Player of the Year. Do you see an opportunity now on offense?
I mean, they are our team. They haven't had her for a while. So, they're adjusting to how to play without her. So I think that is, the newness of that is gone. Unfortunate, a phenomenal player in person that, I know very well. So I'm very disappointed for her. No one wants to have their senior season like this. So, but that part, they had to get over that immediately. So now this is the team. This is what the cards that they're dealt, and they're pretty good. So it certainly doesn't shortchange them one way or the other. They have to learn how to play with what they have.
Now, you were an assistant at JMU. You've been down there as a head coach. What's it like to play in Harrisonburg on the road?
Well, it's funny. The players were talking about that yesterday at the end. Between the noise. I mean, Mason's band kind of gets you prepared, for that. But it's just between the heckling, the band, the atmosphere. People are on the court. It's a different. Convocation is, one of the oldest gyms in the league that has a lot of character. So you have that whole, ambiance, and I'm sure they're back in school. They don't have the intercession like the way we do, so they have a really good student following in the Duke Dog Club they have. So those students will be on the floor and rattling you on free throws. So it's going to be a big game. It's a television game, as you very well know. It's going to be on SNY now. I think they just changed that today. SNY today. I think down in the affiliates down there, it'll be Mid-Atlantic, and then it'll be Comcast possibly, or I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But But it will be broadcast all throughout. It's an SNY here in New York, so you know that they're doing everything to put people in the seats. So that atmosphere that you're asking about is what, you know, it's hard to explain to the newbies. So they'll get a quick taste.
And what do you have to do to go on the road and pull out a win?
Rebound. You know, our test with ODU, they were not the top rebounding team. I'm sure you saw the stat line. So we out-rebounded them, but we have a much bigger task of out-rebounding JMU. It's one thing Kenny's always done is get his kids to rebound. So that's probably number one. And then playing at our tempo and then being able to, you know, match whatever they throw at us defensively, if you know. So we're going to try to go at what we need to go, and if the tempo changes back and forth, you know, we can handle that. We can play any type of game. You know, like I said, we were a different team when we were last year, so, you know, winning on the road there is a big one. We're ready for it. Looking forward to the revenge from last year.
All right, Head Coach Krista Kilburn-Steveskey, thanks for the time.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Hofstra takes on James Madison Sunday at 5:30. You can listen to the game on GoHofstra.com. I'm Rob Joyce, and thanks Hofstra fans for tuning in to the WB Mason's Coaches Report with Krista Kilburn-Steveskey.